I got banged up. I was running back. I got banged up. My arm was hurt. My ribs were hurting. I couldn't breathe. So all day Saturday, I just didn't feel good. And Sunday morning, we went to church. We're there in Bible Sunday school Sunday morning, and I stood up and I had the most crushing feeling in my chest and my back,
Hmm.
and I blanked out. That was a Sunday. That next Tuesday morning, I woke up at St. Dominic's Hospital in Jackson, Mississippi, and I had a heart attack. And they never figured out why. It may have been something similar to what LeBron James's son had experienced, but back then they didn't have the know-how to figure out what that was. This was in the mid '80s,
Yeah.
and so just being in that
And so
hospital,
you were
felt
how old? Like 15,
I
16
was
or something?
15, ninth grade.
Goodness gracious.
Yes. And I just remember when I woke up, and I knew it was serious because my brother had previously gone to basic training. And so he was away in the military. And when I woke up, he was there. So that's one of those things where bringing the next of kin, you know. And so while they were trying to, they're doing all the blood tests and x rays and everything,
You
trying to
didn't you
figure
you,
out
you
what had
didn't you
happened.
didn't code though. You had a heart attack and syncope, passed out. You didn't code.
So I don't know the story. So what my mother said was when they got me to the local hospital, which is rural Kosciuszko, Mississippi, about 80 miles away from Jackson, where they took me, that I had a light pulse, but I had no pupil reaction.
Hmm.
And so there was a nurse there who said they wanted to code me, but there was a nurse there who said, I have a pulse. And so I was life flighted from Kosciuszko to Jackson, and they revived me there. So I don't know what end it was. Um, so I don't think I coded, but I don't remember anything after passing out until I woke up Tuesday.
It's tough, man. I'll tell you, as an ICU doctor, sometimes, when patients are coding, someone's like, I got a pulse. Someone's like, I don't have a pulse. Sometimes it's hard to know if the pulse is really there.
Right.
So,
So I'm thankful for that nurse, and I'm thankful for whoever believed what she was saying and say, because we're a black family in the '80s, and in an area where the disparities are just remarkable. I mean, back then you can see it now, but it was worse then. And so for them to say, let's send this young black male to Jackson, Mississippi, where he can get the help, not knowing how we're going to pay for this flight, not knowing whether his parents have insurance or whatever, I think it's quite remarkable for that time.
yeah, I
And
would say it's remarkable, but I would say it should not be thought of as remarkable, right? It's one of those things
right,
where it's like we say it's remarkable because whatever it is remarkable, it's great. We're always
right,
going to be grateful, give gratitude to everybody, but in an ideal world, it'd be like, okay, that's just standard what we're supposed to
right.
do
It should
anyways.
should have been standard,
Yeah, yeah,
standard
but I
care.
but I
But
definitely I definitely understand what you're saying though.
But
So
that
goodness
leads
gracious,
me to, what you're saying in my childhood, what actually got me to medicine. So I think
yeah,
that was the experience because the doctor, the cardiologist, and I can't remember his name right now, so many years ago, Dr. Barron, that was his name. He's passed away now, but I was with him for 7 days in the hospital because they kept me for 7 days. And so I didn't know it. I thought he was just being cool and, that he had taken a liking to me. So he was taking me to his patients' rooms and he was walking me around. That was the first time I ever had a stethoscope, around my neck and put in my ears. And I thought that was pretty cool, and what he was actually doing was trying to get me up and moving to see, what my cardiac function actually was. I didn't know that at the time. So,
well,
but I got to
hopefully it was
go to
hopefully it was a
patients.
bit of both.
Probably both,
Yeah.
because he was a white doctor and I was a young black male from a rural town, and so maybe he was trying to see what my interest would be. He passed away, and so unfortunately he didn't get to see where I am now. But that was one of those experiences that it sticks with you, you know. And it was just a cool profession, and I was like, this is something I think I want to do.
Well, if that story doesn't get you, the listeners, I don't know what's gonna get y'all, man. Because that's just amazing.
Yeah,
That's that's almost like too good to be made up, like like too good to be true type of thing. That's great. Well, first of all, thank God, grateful that you pulled through.
Exactly.
Like you said, that you had the staff because to your point, there are some kids that will go through that who are not going to pull through.
Right.
So just grateful for God and the prayers up. So that's fascinating. So anyway, so you're 15, 16. You think, hey, medicine might be the way I want to go. So what was the
Right.
next step after that, right? So first question, did you go back to playing any sports after that?
So they were afraid to let me play, because of liability, and they never did come up with a definitive diagnosis. And so that hurts you when you go back to school and it's on your health record. He could have a heart attack again because we don't know why he had this one. But fortunately, that football coach and the principal of that school both retired. So we got a new football coach in and a new principal that didn't know the backstory. So 10th grade, I set out because I was afraid something would happen. But then 11th grade, I did go back and I played the full football season. No problems, no health problems since then, no cardiac problems since then. So it's just, I think it may just have been, divine intervention for, the reason of being a catalyst to get me into medicine.
Amen. I believe it. I believe in divine. I believe in divine intervention. Certainly. All right. Then, what steps did you begin to take? Now you're 15, 16. You say, "Hey, medicine. This. I like this."
So,
Did you start doing anything?
unfortunately, I had to go back to my environment. And, at the time, again, I'm in rural Mississippi, where at the time, most people didn't go into any field that was scientifically related. You're looking at farmers, you're looking at agriculture, you're looking at, most of the boys took wood shop or welding. And so I went back to that track. I took wood shop, I took welding, went back to agriculture, but I did stay connected to science because we had a really, really cool biology teacher came in and she let us do a lot of hands-on stuff. So, when you're at that age, you're doing the frog dissections and you're doing leaf collections. I don't know if you all remember that from high
Oh
school,
yeah.
but it kind of kept me connected. And so I wasn't still connected to the medical thing, but I was still connected to science. I still like to tinker. I didn't know if that was going to go into engineering or biology or chemistry. I just still had that love of tinkering with things. And probably fast forward to my 11th grade year, there's a program sponsored by some HBCUs in Mississippi called Educational Talent Search. And so we got to go on a trip to Alcorn University. I don't know if you've ever heard of that school out of Norman, Mississippi,
Mm-hmm.
and view their biology department. So this is 11th grade. This is after football season. And, we got to see some really interesting things that I didn't think that they will let a teenager see. So, you're looking at, preserved female genitalia and male genitalia and, preserved embryos. And it's like, wow, it's like this whole new world's opening up again. And, I want to see how these things happen. So after 11th grade, I didn't have the 11th grade growth spurt that most guys have, so I knew sports was out of the picture. Plus, I had this diagnosis, of a cardiac condition that was really undiagnosed. So I couldn't go to the military, which was going to be my
I
backup
mean,
plan.
how tall are your parents?
Dad is about 5'8". Mom was 5'3".
Okay, so you weren't
So me
thinking
being 5'5", I'm kind of right. So the genetics played out
right
as
about
they
right. Okay,
should.
okay. So
And
you weren't
again,
one.
that may have been another divine intervention. Let's limit his height so he can't do those things. Let's keep him in medicine.
Really got them Rex ain't playing around. When I go get it, stop playing around. Really got them Rex ain't playing around. Black man, white coat, shit, we up right now, yeah. You gotta set you a goal. You gotta accomplish your goal.